Hello friends, monopoly, the biggest danger for modern India. Now the IndiGo crisis is just the trailer. Across 7 major sectors in India, the exact same situation exists. From telecom to e-commerce, 60 to 90% of the market is controlled by just 2 or 3 companies. So in today's video, we are going to break it down one by one. Which sectors in India have a monopoly or duopoly? What danger does this create for people like you and me? And how should India fix this problem? What exactly is a monopoly? Friends, monopoly is simple when one company controls an entire market, just like what we saw in the IndiGo's case. In domestic air travel, IndiGo held 60 to 65% of the market. In such a market structure, you don't really have choices. For service, for pricing, for supply, the entire market depends on one company. That one company controls supply, price, demand, everything, and the whole country is forced to dance to their tune. But friends, listen. Monopoly doesn't mean there must be only one company. Even 2 or 3 companies dominating an entire sector, a major sector, is also a kind of monopoly that is called duopoly. Unfortunately, in recent years, India has slowly moved into this monopoly-duopoly zone across many important sectors. From telecom to cement, India in a monopoly grip. Yes, friends, today in India, in most major sectors, only 1 or 2 or 3 companies are dominating. The most obvious examples are telecom and cement. Telecom is a strategic sector, but today it is dominated by only 2 companies, Jio and Airtel. Jio controls about 41% of the market, and Airtel controls around 33% of the market. And the remaining 26%, small players like Vodafone Idea and BSNL are hanging on for survival. But the telecom sector wasn't like this earlier. There were many players. Airtel, BSNL, Vodafone, Idea as separate companies, and Reliance, Tata Docomo, Telenor, Uninor, Aircel, Hutch, more than 10 major players. Then came Jio in 2016, and the entire telecom market collapsed into dust. Today, only 2 players remain strong. Yes, this is also true that after Jio's arrival, data charges, the prices also fell. Now, people are getting affordable data. Voice is literally free now. But after this duopoly, Jio-Airtel duopoly, even if one of these 2 faces a major outage, remember, India's entire communication network and digital economy could collapse. Online payments, Google Pay, Phone Pay rule the game. Now let's talk about the backbone of digital economy, online payments. India is a world leader here. Today almost 99% of day-to-day transactions happen online. That is something to be proud of. But even here, 2 players dominate more than 80% of the market. Phone Pay about 45%, Google Pay about 35%. Friends, even if one of these apps goes down for an hour, India's digital economy comes to a halt. Recently, an industry body called India Fintech Foundation wrote a letter to the Finance Ministry and the RBI expressing serious concerns on this. The message was clear. This duopoly is dangerous. It creates systemic risk. Government must intervene immediately and provide incentives to new players. Set caps on incentives by these established players and treat UPI as a strategic national asset. E-commerce, Flipkart and Amazon dominate. Yes, same story here too. Flipkart and Amazon control 70 to 80% of India's e-commerce marketplace. Walmart-owned Flipkart handles around 48% of deliveries. Amazon controls 30 to 35%. They have pumped massive investments and flooded the market with huge discounts. This is a $125+ billion industry, and these 2 giants rule it. Any new startup that enters this space either gets acquired or destroyed. Small sellers are left with no choice but to depend entirely on these two platforms and follow their rules. And cement. Aditya Birla versus Adani dominance. Friends, construction contributes 13% to India's GDP. And cement plays a crucial role here. This sector is not a monopoly yet, but it is turning into a duopoly from being oligopoly. Earlier, 5 to 6 companies shared the market. But now almost everything is being divided between two groups, Aditya Birla Group and Adani Group. Birla already had a strong presence through Ultratech, but recently Adani entered aggressively, acquiring ACC, Ambuja Cement, Orient Cement and others. Birla also started acquiring companies to counter Adani, and now it has turned into a cement war. Slowly, India's cement market is shrinking into the hands of just two groups. Same story everywhere in aviation, Tata and IndiGo, in news agencies, ANI and PTI, in FMCG, Hindustan Unilever's dominance, in coal, government-run companies. Across India, monopoly and market concentration are rising fast. Why is monopoly dangerous? Some people might think, I don't travel by flight, so this IndiGo crisis doesn't affect me. Or why should I care if only one company or two companies exist and control everything? What it got to do with me? Friends, monopoly affects you every single day, even if you don't notice it. First thing, price control. If there is no competition, companies can increase prices anytime. You and I have no choice but to pay. For example, Jio, initially they gave everything for free. So now only two players are left, Airtel and Jio. They keep increasing prices by 10 to 20% regularly. And unlike other countries, India doesn't even offer low-cost voice-only plans anymore. TRAI, Telecom Regulatory Authority of India, had to step in and tell telecom companies, see, you must offer voice-only plans. Okay. What Airtel and Jio did, both increased the price of voice-only plans to 400 to 1000 rupees. That is more expensive than the data plans. Classic monopoly behavior. Next, poor service quality. With no competition, companies get lazy, innovation slows down, service quality drops, and they'll also get excessive lobbying power. Monopoly companies influence policy making. They can lobby with governments and shape rules in their favor. And system collapse risk also will be there. This is the biggest danger. Even a small outage can break the entire system. We have already seen this with IndiGo. One company and the entire nation's aviation gets hijacked. And friends, remember, it doesn't take days and weeks to cause damage. Even 1 hour of outage is enough. Cloudflare is a perfect example. Recently, a tiny glitch caused a global internet outage, and stock market alone lost over $1.5 billion within few hours. This is the risk of concentration. Why is monopoly growing in India? Monopoly culture is not new in India. From the beginning, groups like Tata and Birla have created dominance, but today it is worse because of high entry costs. Starting a telecom network, airline or power grid requires billions of rupees or dollars. Only big groups can afford it. And complicated regulations. Getting licenses in India is a huge challenge. By the time you get approvals, your business dream might already be dead. Corruption adds another layer of difficulty. Network effect. When more people use a product, it becomes more valuable. People in India don't easily switch to new apps. They stick to old habits. That is why replacing PhonePe or Google Pay is almost impossible today. He also has Google Pay, he also has Google Pay, she also has PhonePe, he also has PhonePe. Let me also have PhonePe and Google Pay. That is the mindset. And competition enforcement is also weak. India's Competition Commission, CCI, is supposed to prevent monopolies, but enforcement is slow. Whereas in Europe, giant companies like Google face multi-billion-dollar penalties regularly. Even in America, Google faced a lot of issues for the same reason, and later Google was forced to share data with competitors. Are there any benefits? Yes, not everything about monopoly is negative. Big players bring big investments, they build nationwide infrastructure, they achieve economies of scale and can initially offer services cheaper. Jio's massive 25 plus billion dollars investments is a good example. Scale helps the economy, but choice protects the citizen. When dominance goes unchecked, prices rise, service drops, innovation freezes. What should India do? Government must strengthen antitrust laws, CCI must act faster and stronger, entry barriers must be reduced so new companies can actually enter and survive. And availability of sufficient amount of capital for new companies is also important. So what should we do now? Friends, as a customers, we cannot do much here. We cannot ask customers to use alternative apps or buy from a small shop. Customer is the king. He decides what is good for him. He will buy from a place where he will get good quality at a cheaper price. So what government can do is they can open up economy even more. They can enhance ease of doing business, and they can support new startups so that whenever this monopoly become a huge danger and whenever they start acting smart and start increasing prices randomly, a new competitor can emerge from anywhere. That kind of ecosystem and business atmosphere we and the government should create. Now friends, what do you think on this? Please let us know your thoughts on the comment section below, and if you like this video, please don't forget to like, share, and especially please don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Thank you so much. Keep looking for better. Let's meet again. Namaste.